everyone, and a great big welcome. Thanks for being here with me, Helene, at Cabin Fever Crochet. And if you're here for the first time, I am in northeastern Washington State. And I thank you also, those of you, for asking. I decided to break this series, is how it's turned out to be, into a couple of different videos, and this one is a follow-up to my crochet bestsellers, and I'm devoting this solely to the topic of pricing. That's right, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty here. I really want to go into the business aspect of it, factor in and take into consideration how I arrived to those numbers, items that have done well and are worthwhile to me for the time and effort and cost of yarn and everything and jewelry and materials that I make that goes into it that's worth doing and that turn over more. This is going to be longer because it is more in depth and based on my experience off and on for more than a decade and 2 different states and areas and throughout different economies. So I'm going to go over that, and then I'm going to show you quite a few pieces that I have out here that go through spring and summer, and then also fall and winter, just to give you more of a sense of what I do. But first, I would really like to share some life advice, if you will. And the thing with handmade items, that there are some people that really get it, they appreciate it, they have the ability to and are willing to pay the prices or more of the value of what they're worth. But when it comes to crochet, for some reason, it's not there with a lot of people. And so if this is something you're going to do, as with most things in life, it's about creating a balance. But one thing I really want to implore is please do not undersell yourself. Don't undersell your work, because you're devaluing not only your work, your time, the design elements, the effort that goes into it, but also yourself. Because to me, what we create is an extension of ourselves. And it's a love. And I do donate and I gift quite often, but that is completely separate from doing something as a business. It's important to factor all these things in so you're not cutting yourself short and paying people to take your stuff after your time, your gas, the market fee, credit card fees if you take those, the cost of materials. And don't forget about paying yourself. And with crochet, oftentimes, you're lucky to even get $10 an hour out of it. So I look at how much time went into it, and if there are pieces that take longer, then maybe that might go into more of the custom work category where people are committed to it, and I get a percentage down, which I'll get into that a little bit later. Things I take into consideration. Take a look at the area where you are going to, do a show. Is it going to be a weekly market? Is it an area where it's a destination vacation spot? Or depending on the area where you are, say, is it more rural? Is it more urban? More of a retirement community, a sleepy little bedroom community? Is it more affluent or lower income, or a mix in between? So again, it's always going back to creating a balance. But whatever price you decide on, the thing is, you can always start a little higher and bring it down a little bit, but it's hard to go up. But just when you do these shows, don't treat it like a flea market, barter fair, swap meet, garage sale. Sometimes I will give a little bit of a break or a discount, or if it's something I've had for a while and I want to move it on. And you'd be surprised, even 5-10%, a few dollars, or especially if they're buying a couple things, knock a couple dollars off of that. People really appreciate it. But whatever you do and wherever you go, if you do different shows in your area, be consistent with your pricing. pick it and whether you adjust it up or down. I'm saying don't charge, 25 for something here and 45 for the same thing there, because that can come back to bite you. You get the same person like, wait a minute, I just paid that here and now you're selling it for there. That isn't right, and it's definitely not going to seem right to people. So we want happy both ways. Customers feeling they got something wonderful and a good value for that piece, and you deserve to get a fair price, but within reason too, because of all the above things I mentioned. Because if you go too high, even though your items may really be worth it, you can price yourself out and wind up just being a collector of your own stuff if it's too high compared to the area in which you live and your regular customer base. And then also think about if it's a new show that you haven't done before. What I do is I'll go to it and I'll check it out first to get a sense and walk around and see the average clientele, which can vary from show to show and week to week for sure, but you just get a sense of that, a sense of the quality of the other types of items and what that customer base is going to be like. Also, the type of show it is and how many other similar vendors are there, how much competition there is. If there's going to be 3, 4, 5 other jewelry, or maybe a knitter, okay, but another crocheter or two, no, I won't do it, because it's tough enough in the crochet market. And if they're going to be commercial booths, if so, what type and how many? Are there similar wares to what you have that are mass produced very cheaply? And if it's the type of people that come that are looking for a lot of products to purchase, say for the holidays, more bang for their buck over handmade quality, well, you really can't compete with that. Winds up undercutting you. And yes, and it does help. I have other things, other offerings. I do make jewelry. So if you don't have another craft that you do, then maybe have a variety of items to offer. And you don't have the whole bunch at once. You can do just a few, little handful of each, see how they do, and then you learn each time from the next and so on. But if you have other items to mix it up and kind of diversify, for example, one item does really well and it doesn't take that long as much yarn, but it looks really nice, you can charge a little more for that and then a little less for one that you might enjoy really doing. For example, for me, shawls, and certain ones that I can work up a little faster, but they still take time. I can't get as much for those, but I enjoy them. My customers love them. So, something to help offset making less for one, more for another. That will again create a balance for you so that you have something at the end of the day too. And don't judge your market, your prices, the people that come there, as far as gauging your pricing and what people buy and what they're willing to pay by one show or 1 week. If you do a regular market, you have to do them for a little while to get a good sense of that. And also take a look at the current economy, because I have had to lower my prices, and I know that I could charge more in other areas, and they have big markets and people pay more down there for items, and I've heard that with my hats. Wow, some I was charging maybe 38 to 42 and others were charging 60, which in my opinion, as I should be, but I know up here there will be far and few in between that will. So how many do I want to make? Do I want it sitting around waiting for that select group of people, or maybe have, say, one of those items, something more specially like that, that does take more time. You can have it on display to show what else you can do, what else you offer. Maybe you could take orders for that. And if you do, make sure you discuss pricing first. Cover the type of yarns that you can offer. Any add-ons, buttons, trim, tassels, beads, any of those things. Is it a shorter handled bag that they want longer into a crossbody? Any add-on adds more. And then you can take a custom order. I get 50% down at least. Make sure the cost of materials are covered and some of my time. And so it helps too if you are willing and able to accept credit card. I think it's a really good thing to do. It will increase your sales. Yes, there's a fee if you go through the Square or PayPal and you aren't doing regular shows, you just do them seasonally. You can do a manual entry and that will keep your credit card fees down, but your sales will go up. Still, you will have more volume. And then when you go to collect the other 50% and then you go to ship it, then you can just get paid over the credit card, or they can go through PayPal. And then that way you're not having to fiddle with a whole variety of apps, just to streamline what you're doing. Because if you get busy and if you're working that show by yourself and you have people waiting in line and they want to buy your stuff, try to get people and keep the flow going. And if you see someone in line, please always acknowledge them and hello and hi, and I'll be with you in just a few minutes. And live and learn. That's it. Live and learn. All right, so now I'm going to go over a variety of items throughout the seasons and show you which ones I continue making, a few that I won't and why, and the prices based on everything. I explain how I arrived at that, but that doesn't mean that that's what I think you should charge. I definitely don't think you should charge less, but you can certainly go up. That's up to you. Okay, so first we'll go with the one in my lap. This is my Sure Thing bucket hat. And this one is made in Caron cotton cakes. And then I get these little really cute metal beads from Michaels. I wait until they have sales. That helps. Oh, and that's another thing. On some items where they don't have regular sales, and it's something I'm going to use all the time, and replacement costs, especially say with my jewelry or a higher end yarn, if I happen to get a little bit of a discount, and I know I'm going to be making more and I might have to pay regular price next time, I just charge the regular price across the board, and then that little bit extra is another thing that can help offset some of the price items where you have to charge a little bit lower and you're not getting anywhere near to even minimum wage. Last few years I charged $26. It does work up pretty quickly. This portion going down a hook size, it's tight, it's harder on my hands. It's one of those I consider in the more labor intensive category. That's more taxing on my hands, takes longer, so might charge a little bit more. Okay, so keep track of your time. But if I make a mistake and have to pull back, that's on me. That's not going to get factored in. This hat, this is the one I've talked about before that I am going to update the video, condense it more, shorten it. This did well. And I think I was charging about $42, which I think is still low. That's the one people were saying that others were charging $60. And then I think I went up to $46 or $48 at one point. And now it's like I can't even get $38 for them. Sad, because this is really nice Cascade yarns, that discontinued Avalon yarn. And I used more than one hank, and this is over $10 in yarn. I think I need to put them back on a mannequin. All right, next up are my baseball cap hats. So I have the summer with the optional ponytail port. Price depends again on the yarn. Caron cotton cakes. For the plain ones, $28. If I add a flower, can charge what you like. I might go with, whoops, 32, another $4. And I have a Cosmos flower tutorial for that. That's in my accessories and add-ons playlist. You know, you could do a little button, as I'm going to show you here. Factor whatever your cost of that is in a little bit of time. Mercerized cotton, and I put 4 strands together of that baby, yeah. And so the mercerized, 34, okay? It's more expensive. It's more textural yarn to work with, that real cottony bite to it. And so it takes a little bit longer, and again, it's a little more labor intensive, especially getting to that brim portion. So 34 for those. Now going into my winter cooler weather version, comes down lower on the ears, the back of the neck, no ponytail port, the brim is longer and the stitch is different, thicker, takes more yarn. So I charge $34 for these, and more for the add-ons. Or, you know, actually, if I do buttons, I'll probably just include the buttons, and if I got a good price and they were on sale or something. Yes, so for wool, like Peruvian wool, merino wool, like a nice wool, price goes up. Whatever I've paid for that wool, that gets factored in, because they know it's going to stand the test of time. It's going to keep their head warm. And it's wonderful, you know, it's wonderful to offer, and wonderful that people appreciate and buy them. And so that's the things with items I try to take with me, more that is a little bit different, something you just don't see everywhere, because we get a lot of fiber enthusiasts at the farmers market, and they will even go, oh, where did you get that yarn? So it's just expanding people's horizons. And sometimes if I get some neat things on clearance, I will give discounts and pass that on to the customer. It just depends what it is and how often I'm going to make it or whatever. If I have a whole bunch of them, I want to move them on, and they're appreciative, and I'm happy. We're all happy. Happy. One more hat. Going into the winter beanies, again, something a little bit different. And you can be your own best advertisement, like I do at the farmer's market, or have just displayed nicely. And if you're new here and you haven't seen that, I do have a couple of videos, which I'll also leave below, on displays. And that's going to change from outside, where I have a canopy and can use the rails to hang things off of, versus indoors where I don't have a canopy. Then I might bring, I have a coat rack that is pretty lightweight, and it has the poles that stick out, and so I can hang things off of that. A laundry rack, anything that you can bring that's portable and it's easy to transport, and especially if you can break it down. And little tables, even if you have a little TV tray, put a pretty little drape on, or maybe a little throw blanket that you used, and just put that on top, and in a basket. Get neato baskets at thrift stores all day long, and fun little displays, and adjust your heights of things to give visual interest, create a nice flow. Even if you don't have a lot of things, if you change it up to where people will stay longer taking it all in, instead of just all at a glance. So this is my pine cone stitch hat. This is in Malabrigo Aurora in English Rose. Oh, I just love this so much. And this is a vintage pin. And I put a pin on it so I can remove it. Even if you just take a more basic hat and show people what they can do to make it a little extra special, that can sell it. And there's nothing wrong with basics, because people like basics, but sometimes, you know, they'll look at a hat and maybe you put 3 hours into it plus the yarn and the accessories, and they think $20 is too much. I've had that. If something takes me a couple hours, I would like to charge at least 28 by the time, depending on how much the yarn is, or more. You know, I've charged more, 30. You can see that, 34, 35 on up for hats. Finishing touches can make all the difference in getting more of the value out of your piece than someone say, oh, well, I can get that at Walmart for $10. No, you can't. Mass produced, fine, you know, if that's what they want to do, go to Walmart, but you're not going to get it here at my booth for that price unless it's in my clearance basket. Things I've had for several years, yarn that was just, you know, not my favorite. I'm just like so over it. That has to move on because I want to bring in new stuff. I have this big basket and another one with clearance stuff from $10 to say $25. Some of the scarves, $20, $25. Take it, enjoy, thank you, you know, happy. And those can add up quickly, and then you can invest that into other things. So having a sale basket, that can be really beneficial too, especially things that you just have collected already in a bin. Somebody will be happy to take that home or give it as a gift, because maybe someone might have 9 grandchildren. And then just a few more. I warned you, I told you this was going to be a longer one, but you asked, I deliver, but don't expect a short answer. Okay, these do pretty well. I'm surprised this is still sitting here. That's a funny thing. Sometimes I'll bring in more, and then the one that's been sitting here sells. Go figure. All right, so this is my water, wine, thermos, and you'll see that in my video. If you go to that playlist, it has this, the cup cozy, and the lip balm keyring holder, rather than leave, you know, 20 different links to different videos. Once I had them down, it took me about an hour and a half. That was before I had hand surgery, probably a little longer now. I sell them for 20. I don't think I could go above that. When I'm in the mood, they are fun to make. People really do like them. And so that's one of those novelty things. Looks cute, colorful, hanging off the canopy. Anybody that will attract people, and it helps too. Say for my cup cozies, those I sell for $5, and I use some of the Lion brand 24/7 yarn, but that is very nice yarn, but because the price has gone up, I have 3 left. I'm not going to do them anymore. They just take a little too long for the $5, but if you want to, they're really fun little gifts. If you can whip them out, and depending on the type of yarn you use, those would be good in the dishcloth cotton. Yeah, if you put a can or, excuse me, a water bottle in one of the cup cozies and show the 2 different height sizes and the multiple uses, and even an empty water bottle, just so people get the idea. The more ideas that they can have uses for things, the better. And I almost forgot my crochet beaded bracelets. Here they are, various fibers. Most are in a number 3 weight mercerized cotton, and also a number 8 mercerized crochet cotton thread is great. Smooth, very nice, doesn't fuzz, pill. The sparkly ones are in a discontinued Premier Spangle yarn as of this date. They are still on eBay. I saw some, and these are all in really nice glass seed beads and metal buttons. All right, the South Bay shawl or shawlette, and it's nice because you can do two different price points and for different size people, because get some real petite people who just want a little something cover, and then people that are larger and they'll go, oh, that'll never fit me. Oh, but I can make one custom size just for you if that's something you want to do. And I like this. It's light and lacy. It works in a variety of yarns, even a heavier number 4 weight down to a number 1 fine. The smaller ones, the shawlettes. Yeah. Now I do 58 for those. And then the fuller size shawls, 68. And then this is the Camino scarf shawlette. That doesn't take too terribly long. And I go up a couple few hook sizes so it works up faster. I did some fingerless gloves a few years ago. It just takes too much, to me, more time than what people are willing to pay, especially the wool ones. I mean, I had some, not the super high-end wool ones, but wool's still more than acrylic, right? I was charging 28, and it's like, really, you can't order from QVC or HSN. You're gonna pay that more even. That's something that has been handmade in your own country, in your own area. And I do have a tutorial for this. It's my dreamy beanie. I still love that pattern. My dreamy, cowl or infinity scarf and gloves. Oh, I forgot about the lip balm holders. Yeah, and you can put whatever in them. Those I sell for $7 each. I get a good buy on the lip balms, and I buy some really cute, they're called Sierra Bees from iherb.com, and it's an in-house and they're organic. They're fun, they're cute, they're novelty, and it's a small item. I don't make much of them, but it can draw people in, and then they might be looking over and see something else they like. And sometimes those little things can add up and even be enough to pay my fee for the day. So this is my dewdrop Bactus kerchief style scarf, cowl, right? Tried this on a bazillion times already. Can wear it, fold it over, just tuck, drape down. I don't want to go through the whole deal on this, but isn't that cute with the border, which is worked all in one piece. I forgot to time myself how long it takes me. And I've made some of these for gifts and 2 for myself. This is in alpaca and tencel with a little fringe at the end. And this is, that one's mine. Again, that would be a custom order. And this is cotton acrylic Premier puzzle cotton. That one's also mine. The first 2 I made. I have another one in the works. Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth on pricing for this. I'm thinking 48 would be a pretty low amount. How many hours is it going to take you? The cost of the yarn. I might do a couple if I have time and go up a little bit, and then adjust my price from there. If I have some yarn that I want to use up and I think would be perfect for that, I might do that. Or this is one of those patterns, once you get going with it, it's easy to remember, and then you can do it. One of those I like to do when I just want to relax and not have to think that hard. And then before you know, it's like, wow, I'm halfway through already. And then, yeah, I'm on the home stretch. And it's fun. It's fun to make. It's one of my favorites. And my opinion is based on my experience that it would do better because it is unique and it's versatile. Can even, like, quickly, if you're getting a little rain or snow and don't want to mess up your dew, you could just put it around your head real quick that way, and it actually does come down pretty close to the back end, and just wrap it around. Well, I didn't do it even, but yeah, look, full on coverage there. You could do that. And if you have if you don't mind hat hair or scarf hair, but yeah, you can work one in a thicker yarn like the regular Premier puzzle. That would be so cute in that. And then you can have yourself a little shawlette with this too. Yeah, I didn't, in my tutorial, I didn't even show you about putting it on over your head. I just thought of that right now as I'm sitting here looking at, yeah, why didn't I think of that before? So you charge what you feel is right. Just get some of your time and for sure, your cost out of it, or just make some for gifts. So I'm not set on a price for that, but I can tell you that my Mayflower scarf I did this year, first day I had it up, and early in the day it sold, and I charged $42 for that. The Michaels, the Loops and Threads Flex yarn, that was it. And it doesn't take a lot of yarn, and it's fun to make, and it works up pretty quickly. I think I went up a couple of hook sizes on that. So that helps too, or if you're going into winter and you double up, go with a thicker yarn and use a pretty yarn, a yarn that works well with that pattern, so it just really showcases it and sets it off. Yeah, it's hard on scarves because they take a long time, and it's more of a common item, such as a beanie. That way, anytime that you can have something that's just a little more unique, and the yarn that you're using that is setting it off, the more inclined people, I think, are willing to pay a higher price for it. But if you live in a more affluent area, higher income, as far as what people are paid, then you can set your price accordingly. And then I had these rugs, my Victory Road rug or blanket, and I made a blanket. Oh, I put on the back of my sofa. It's amazing. Like, instead of looking like a pile of laundry, I had it folded on my ottoman. It looked like a pile of laundry, kind of cluttered. So I put it behind the cushions. They're detached cushions, and you just see it on the back of the sofa. And wow, it's amazing how you can just take something like that and it transforms the whole room, can bring it all together. So anyway, I had these up. I had 3 of them. One I'm giving as a gift, and then I have these 2. And I thought they made cute displays, and people looked at them, just like, eh. And I don't even think they asked on prices. One lady really liked the purpley and blues, which is going to be a gift, but she wanted 2, one for each side of the bed, and I didn't have 2, and I didn't have any more of that yarn. That I did in the Premier puzzle, in the acrylic, and I combined 2 strands together. I think I had these priced at $35, considering, a few hours worth of work and all that yarn. Triple 3 strands of number 4 weight. That's not easy on the hands, going up into those big hooks with that big old hunk of yarn going through. I thought that was too low, but I didn't think I could get any more, and even at that price, people weren't going for it. So, okay, glad I didn't make any more, but I think doing the marathon of all these over a couple weeks is what kind of messed up my hand to begin with. So be careful. Don't wreck your body over it either. It's not worth it. And make sure you take breaks. Stretch. Do your stretches. So I'm going to keep these. Use them in the bathroom, in front of the kitchen sink. Make sure, put a little grippy mat underneath those. Okay, well, I think that has covered it and then some. But I hope this was helpful for you. Take good care, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and hanging with me till the very end. Wow. All right, have a great day. Hope to see you next time. And happy making and happy selling.